Good afternoon and welcome to Cross Keys Reserve. Round 8 NPLW Victoria action coming your way this Saturday afternoon as two teams will kick off this afternoon's contest in the bottom 4 on the NPLW ladder. Look to pick up some much needed points in what is a big week of NPLW action. A couple of the teams nearer the top dropping points already. A couple of teams, if they're hoping to keep touch with that part of the table, will very much be needing to get going on the points front this season. It's Essendon Royals welcoming Bentley Greens to Melbourne's Northwest at Cross Keys Reserve. My name is Oscar Rutherford. Thank you for your company in this afternoon's game. For Essendon Royals coming into the contest with an unchanged lineup following last week's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Burundara. And Spadiato evidently satisfied with his team's performances and the personnel choices despite failing to pick up the result last week in what were fairly unfortunate circumstances. Bentley similarly suffered a late heartbreak their game at home to Bentleigh in one of the final attacks of that game. The Lions sneaking a goal to take the 3 points back to the Veneto club. And that puts the premium on points this afternoon at an even higher level. The referee Angelique Katsalis gets the game underway with the whistle in the middle of the park. It's an early spell of possession for Bentley that hasn't lasted too long, as Essendon Royals will look to stamp their authority in this contest in the opening minutes. Essendon Royals, of course, made it into the finals last season. They've had a fairly sluggish 2025 campaign up to this point. Plenty of new faces in the Royals lineup, as is the case for Bentley. Bentley, who now have their new coach Dario Simonic in the dugout rather. This his first game since being formally announced on the club's social media pages. Taking over from Ange Kudus after a few games into this season. Mentioned the unchanged Royals lineup. We'll run through who those players are in just a moment as the home team look to get the ball into the penalty area early. In goal for the Royals is Zara Board. Number 2, Emma Langley. Number 3, Mia Lantieri-Bartley. Number 4 is Michaela Jurcic. As that ball falls the way of Langley, who fires the first shot in anger. Well wide of the post, though. Number 5 is Rebecca Van Dort. Number 6, Sasha Kuri. Number 9, Airi Fujiwara. Number 11 is Ava Grover. Number 12, Kobe Wilbert. 14, Amy Parkinson. And number 20, Kendra Smith. For Dario Simonic, just the one change made to his lineup as Ellie Torre, the veteran, returns to the starting 11 and takes the place of Coco Parker. The rest of the team in goal: number 1, Taylor Murphy. Number 3 is Izzy Fernandez. 4 is the captain, Sydney Allen. 5, Ashla Firth. 8, Caitlin Story. Number 9 is Delaney Kenny. Number 12 is Reagan Bridges. 13, Belinda Stojcevski. 14, Anna Leakopoulos. And 17, Karina Tolios. That 10 of the 11 who took to the field against Bentleigh last time out in a match that, truthfully, the Greens could have won 2 or 3 goals with the weight of chances that they created, and stung with a last-minute corner. Taylor Golden, the scorer on that Friday night. So the Greens now looking to work their way out of defence, led by their new recruits this season, Reagan Bridges. He's one of the standout performers last time out, and indeed has been for most of the season thus far. Ashford Ferb with some clever skills on the ball, looks in board, but coughs it up to Fujiwara, hoping for Langley. Now the Greens look to make their way forward. Sydney Allen unable to keep control of the ball. Now Van Dort will send the Royals forward. It's the first of 3 NPLW Victoria games to take place this Saturday after the 3 last night. Chance again for Langley, who's causing quite the nuisance for the Bentley Greens defence early on. The player brought in from Calder in the off-season by the Royals. Throw in met initially by Sasha Curry. Fujiwara runs into defensive blockade in the shape of Belinda Stojcevski, and Leakopoulos gets the ball clear to Allen. So Sydney Allen expect the captain to be the primary route forward for the Greens this afternoon, as she so often is, leading the front line for Bentley after doing so effectively for many years at Alamein. That long ball into the box is claimed though by Taylor Murphy. Parkinson uses Langley in board. Once again, it's Emma Langley. Pulls the trigger. Once more, a comfortable take for Taylor Murphy, but you can really get the sense that the Royals looking to build some early pressure on their visitors this afternoon. Very much notorious as one of the least enjoyable venues to have to come play as an away team here at Cross Keys. Bentley though holding up to this point in the first 5 minutes of the contest. It is the scoring of goals that has proved to be the main challenge for both of these teams up to this point in the season. Neither has yet hit double figures in the league in terms of goals scored after the 7 games that we've played. Real surprise rather for Essendon Royals has been just the number of goals that they've let in, having built so much of their success last season on the back of a really stingy defence. Conceding just the 32 goals across their 22 games last campaign. They've already let in 14 after 7 this season. Noticeable though that that's come with a couple of clean sheets. Their 2 wins, the Essendon Royals, have been 1-0 wins. It suggests that if they can get the defensive part of the game right, they're pretty hard to beat. Space in the middle and played out by Wilbert. The Greens quick to win it back. This is Kendra Smith. Now Fernandez looks in board. Lefebvre. Ferb had overlapping run being made. This is Sydney Allen. Thinks about cutting it onto her left, but couldn't keep track of the ball. And now Fujiwara runs into Leakopoulos. And back in board by Tolios towards Delaney Kenny. Ball in board by Store. Doesn't get too far. So Fernandez has a little bit too much power in it and rolls out for what will be Amy Parkinson throw for the Royals. Parkinson, one of the new names in Vince Battiato's lineup. joining from Maitland FC in the Northern New South Wales NPL. Chance for Ava Grober, fighting a fairly lone battle just at the moment. Now the support arrives. This is Fujiwara, looking cross field, but well positioned was Lefebvre. Sense the really strong Alamein flavour to the Bentley Greens team this season. So Caitlin Storey, Ash Lefebvre, Sydney Allen as well, all former Alamein players. Taylor Murphy, the goalkeeper, as well. All kept in by Parkinson. Tries the 1-2 with Grober. Just about works out as there was an attempt at a clever move from Sasha Curry. Fujiwara goes from outside the box. Karina Tolios was the player making the block. Smith, one back, and charging forward with it and winning the foul was Delaney Kenny. Kendra Smith not entirely pleased with how that last passage of play panned out. Referee just having a word to the Royals midfielder. This is Tolios now for Bentley. Goes direct, the cross inside. Met by the head of Van Dort. And Parkinson concedes the corner. One of the first looks at goal for Bentley this afternoon. Sydney Allen to deliver the in-swinging ball. See the likes of Bridges the target. Kaylee Jurcic is the player, though, who gets the head to it first. Allen might get another crack at it. Inside over the head, though, of Stoichevsky. Misjudged by the defender. There's a bit of aerial ping-pong just at the moment. Wrestles with Lantieri Bartley, and in the end it's the Royals who come away with the ball. Ava Grober gives chase. It's the ball back, Ava Grober inside to Fujiwara. I think the last touch there, came off Irie Fujiwara. It was well defended. Had a couple of noises as the tackle was made. It's a bit of fortune perhaps for Bentley, following their first meaningful attack of the afternoon. Points would be so important for either of these teams as we head towards the stage of the season where really the competition changes when you get all the mid-season recruits and the A-League players returning, and every club really just trying to build that foundation from which they can build heading into the second half of the season. Don't want to find yourself cut too far adrift from the rest of the pack. This is Ava Grober for the Royals. Cross inside, Langley with the shot, and the Royals have their lead. It was a wonderful ball in from Ava Grober, and Emma Langley has already tested the Bentley goal a couple of times this afternoon. That time she finishes off the chance. The Essendon Royals, having created the weight of chances in the opening 10 or 11 minutes, now have their lead to go with it. Langley with her third league goal of the campaign. Goes outright in front of the Royals' club leading scorer charts. Proved to be a shrewd recruit, could win it back here as well. Emma Langley has 2 in about a minute. Pouncing on the Bentley defensive error. And you can't give Emma Langley looks like that because she'll punish you every time. Just like that, the Royals storm into a 2-0 lead. A real disappointment from the Bentley Green's perspective. They'd put out a pretty sturdy defence in the first 10 minutes of the game. And then to be undone twice in quick succession like that, they've given themselves a real mountain to climb for the remainder of this one. Emma Langley, of course, has a long time now to potentially complete a hat-trick this afternoon with a couple of goals in the opening 12 or 13 minutes that it's been. Let's see how much that has energised the Royals team. Parkinson making her way forward again. Well met that time by Kenny. Ball inside again, once more. Emma Langley was the closest to it that time. Taylor Murphy grateful. The ball ends up in her gloves. It is a cruel game, football. Bentley coming off a couple of difficult losses, really. 4-3 against Preston a couple of weeks ago. It's the 1-0, as we mentioned, against Bentleigh last week. It is fine margins. If things had gone just slightly differently for the Greens, they may have found themselves in a more desirable position than they do at the minute. Right now, things are not going their way. Dario Simonic has plenty of work to do to get his team back into this one. This is Parkinson latching on to the loose ball. He's happy to concede a throw. Both teams weren't exactly coming into it in red-hot form. Just the one win in the last 6 games for the Royals. Bentley have picked up only 1 point in their last 4. So for the first 15 minutes to so heavily favour one of those teams, it's an even more difficult situation than usual for Bentley. As for the Royals, everything will just start to feel a little bit more as maybe the players and coaching staff had planned it in their heads this season. This is Langley. Tolios goes to ground. It was a bit of a risky strategy, paid off at least in the short term. Fujiwara met by Tolios, and the youngster does well, concedes the throw. Smith mistimed her cross into the box, as you saw the exasperated expression on her face afterwards. I've been hoping for Avid Rober. Megan Breaches her defensive smarts to just shepherd it behind for a throw. The question very much now what the Greens have by way of a response. Team that have gone at just over a goal a game this season. They need to find some new routes of attack. You know, of course, Sydney Allen, always a key part of the Greens' moves going forward. Is whether there'll be enough players around it to provide that support. Bentley will need to consistently score this season. Now it is take out that 4-3 loss to Preston and the 2-2 draw against Spring Hills. It's just the 3 goals in the other 5 games that they've played, Bentley Greens. So when they score, they're certainly capable of scoring them in groups, which should give them some reason for optimism with the rest of this game. This is Lefebvre for the Greens. Into Allen. One back though by Smith. Fujiwara met by Stoichevsky. Japanese national wins out. Out towards Parkinson from Langley. Just a little bit too much power in the pass though. Grober again for the Royals. Towards Langley. Langley has Torre. Torre does well, but ball inside towards Fujiwara. And a really vital stop from Ash Lefebvre. The shot had beaten Taylor Murphy, the goalkeeper. Vital contribution from Lefebvre. Stoichevsky with a bit of a shove. Referee happy for play to continue. Final touch coming off Thierry Bartley, so it'll be a Bentley Greens throw.
Keep it up, Ash! Do well!
Fujiwara sets away Grover. Langley at the other post. That was where she looked inside. Hoping to continue the attack there was Curry. Now Van Dort out wide to Parkinson. Crossing board. Important contribution from Stoichevsky. The Royals really looking to press home their advantage. They've got this game very much where they would want it. Test for the Greens to just cling on if they can get through this little period. 2 goals down, it's certainly not an easy task, but nor is it an impossible one. Corner inside, hoping for Smith. Didn't quite find a teammate's header though, did Fujiwara. That ball for Jurcic falls into the path of Sydney Allen. This to get Bentley back into this one. Still Allen with the right boot. It's a wonderful finish from Sydney Allen. Her 3rd of the campaign, and Bentley Greens have halved the deficit. They're right back into this contest. Quickly football games can change. The Royals 2-0 up and seemingly everything going their way. Having the Greens pinned back. Just mounting the pressure, yet one defensive error. Sydney Allen pounces, takes her chance. Bentley Greens very much keeping this contest alive. Sent up by Torre, hoping for Lefebvre. Thierry Bartley over the top for Grover. Tolios got there first. Jurcic stepping out of the defensive line ahead of Allen. Fujiwara wins the foul. So the Royals just hoping to settle back into their pattern of controlling the territory in this game. Smith to deliver the dead ball. It's a decent delivery as well. And Thierry Bartley and Parkinson. Ball a little bit overzealous with the pass. There was Curry. Run eventually blocked. Well, we've seen that Bentley don't need much control of territory or possession to threaten the Royals' defence. I wonder if there'll be a degree of comfort knowing that they can sit back, absorb some pressure and spring forward on these kinds of occasions. This is Izzy Fernandez. A couple of runners inboard. That's where she goes with the pass. Kendra Smith plugging the hole. And Kayla Jurcic comes out to send it over the byline. Good from Ava Grover, playing it off Fernandez to ensure her team retains possession for a little bit longer. Bentley haven't really been able to lock the Royals into their own half for any extended period, and it looks as if that's going to continue to be the case. Fujiwara now for Essendon. Grover's cross inside was effectively blocked by Stojcevski. Referee will just pause to check on the players' welfare. So we'll get play back underway with a drop ball. Mentioned still another couple of NPLW Victoria games to come your way this afternoon. Kicking off in around about half an hour. Boleyn taking on FB Academy. Boleyn, another one of those teams doing their best to keep touch with the leading pack. Ending out the round with a really tantalising prospect tonight. Burundara and Alamein also at the Ven, that one. Saturday night football. Consider that both Heidelberg and South Melbourne dropped points last night. It's a chance for Alamein to go clear on top of the NPLW ladder. Not many would have been predicting that heading into this season. Ball missed initially by Wilbert, for making life difficult for her opponent, and Fernandez reaps the rewards. Sydney Allen now. Flick on header is decent for Fernandez. And just the boot left hanging, which will earn Izzy Fernandez the first yellow card of the afternoon. Winning it off the toes of Wilbert, sending it up towards Allen, whose boot caught the midsection of Michaela Jurcic. Two number threes resumed their battle. Lantieri Bartley doing enough to get the ball clear.
Find well, Bentley. Find the right.
Nearly winning the ball back high up. Royals do enough to get it away. One skims over their head of Reagan Bridges. Ball into Stochevski, well positioned. Risks coughing it up though. Grober. The Royals will take the throw. Now Bridges goes the direct route. Awkward to deal with for the Royals' defence. Not quite getting it clear. That ball very nearly into the path of Kenny. Now Parkinson. It's Langley trying the reverse ball, but Parkinson not on the same wavelength. Grover now to pick out Fujiwara. Reagan Bridges is so often quick to read the ball. Greens don't get far. Now Smith runs into Leakopoulos. Winning out though is the Royals midfielder. Kendra Smith pulls the trigger. Well, it would have taken something quite special to find the back of the net from there. That one flies over the crossbar. A bit over half an hour gone in this game. It's been a really engaging first half hour. The Royals scoring twice in quick succession through Emma Langley, before Sydney Allen has dragged Bentley right back into the contest. Royals generally though controlling the territory and the possession. The Greens looking to pounce in these kinds of situations. Sydney Allen leads the counter for Bentley. Her and Jurcic resumed their battle, which has been really consistently fought so far this afternoon. And Dort has Parkinson. And now Fujiwara, hoping to pick out Langley. Ferv runs right into the path of Wilbert. Kobe Wilbert, who does well to navigate her way around a couple of players. Once again, though, it ends up at the feet of Lefebvre. The retreat to Taylor Murphy in goal. Ball sent up. Leokopolis uses her body cleverly. Yochis, though, wasn't to be beaten. Grover inboard to Fujiwara. Clever 1-2. Cross inside. Stachevsky always first to it. Now Fernandez for Bentley. It's so tough to make those counter-attacks work. You see how well the Royals get the numbers to the places they need to be. It's giving it away, coming out from the back, though, that leaves them the most exposed. Sent inside. Captain Storey, but always a fairly comfortable take, that one, for Zara Board. Once again, we see Parkinson making the run. It's causing a little difficulty for Bentley. Their right-hand defensive side. Fujiwara! Chloe Fujiwara makes it 3-1. A superb finish from an unlikely position. Picked out the top corner somehow. And the Royals restore their 2-goal advantage. Chloe Fujiwara with her 3rd goal of the campaign. Player brought in from the Japanese second tier. Is really making her mark in NPLW Victoria. Just a wonderful finish from an unlikely position, which caught Taylor Murphy flat-footed. 3-1, the Royals now lead. Bentley once more with a significant task ahead of them. Chance perhaps for an instant reply as Fernandez. There was in space out on the left-hand side. Tolios thought I'd go myself. Wasn't able, though, to replicate Fujiwara's effort. Now for Bentley. To greater task set for Delaney Kenny. Players like Ellie Torre, who I think will be leaning on in these kinds of circumstances, just to steady the ship somewhat and keep themselves within touching distance of their opponents, rather. All of her experience, though. This is Fernandez. Offside flag. Means that it will count for naught. Over the top has gone all the way through the Bentley defence, and Emma Langley, well, she's got every reason to be feeling confident this afternoon. That was an ambitious attempt too. Wasn't able to get the requisite loop on the attempt to really test Taylor Murphy. Once more, the Royals in control of this contest. Certainly will be hoping to avoid a repeat of that Bentley goal from before, where they just really out of nowhere let their opponents right back into the game. They can just continue to pin back the greens and make life very uncomfortable for Dario Simonic's side. Difficult to imagine where the next couple of Bentley goals come from. This is Sydney Allen for Bentley, though. Has Caitlin Storey back to Allen. Allen from a long way out. Oh, she nailed the finish with her last attempt, Sydney Allen. And it's not an easy afternoon if you're a Bentley attacker thus far. Very much feeding off scraps and trying to make a lot with make a lot out of only a little bit of service. You can understand her trying her luck. Fernandez now gives chase to Lantieri Bartley. And the Royals attacker unable to trap the ball. Lovely work there by Wilbert out of a tight space. Topoulos gets it back towards Bridges, hoping for Allen. That time Jurcic was best positioned. Grover asked to hunt down that ball, and Stoichevsky got her body in the right place. So we tick into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Essendon will probably be content if they can take their 2-goal advantage into the break. Game not quite done and dusted at that stage, but the Royals in a real position of command. It's hard to argue they don't deserve it either. They've very much controlled how this game has played out up to this point. Long ball, hoping to just split the middle of the Royals' defence. Lefebvre skips past Lantieri Bartley, got the cross inside. Zara Board happy to watch it out and behind for a goal kick. The Royals coach, Vince Battiato, barking instructions out at his team, wanting them to make sure they're back in their defensive shape. Avoid another unfortunate concession to give Bentley a real zip in their step going into the change rooms for half-time. Stoichevsky just lost track of that ball a little, and the Royals take advantage. Langley couldn't beat Stoichevsky. Now Torre plays it off Fujiwara for a throw. Wilbert taking on a couple, and it's grateful for the referee's whistle as the space was closed down. Now this is Lantieri Bartley. One of the best in the business at getting back. Terry Bartley did well though to keep the attack going. It's an awkward one to deal with for Fernandez. Wilbert and Smith use Fujiwara. Rebecca Van Dort, the Kiwi defender. And that ball rolls all the way through to Taylor Murphy. Once more, it's Lions midfield just getting to work. Very much been the winners of that battle up to this point. In the middle of the park, Essendon, they just so effectively controlled the game, and very difficult for Bentley to spend much time on the ball. That'll be the case again here as Jurcic sends it up into midfield. It works by Curry, who lofts it over for the run by Lantieri Bartley, or kept in play. And it will ricochet back out towards Grover. Shifts it onto her left, the shot away. It beat the stretched leg of Strojewski, but not the gloves of Murphy. So with 30 seconds of regulation time remaining, either team's going to score the fifth of the afternoon. It will be the hosts, just with the way the game's panning out at the moment. Already seen in this game, the Bentley can strike without much notice. Maybe they'll give themselves one more chance to reduce the deficit just to the one goal again. They've got 3 minutes of first half stoppage time in which to do it. This is Allen. Turns away from Smith and draws the foul, so there will be a look in for the Greens, a chance to deliver a ball into the penalty area. Maybe, just maybe, bring themselves right back into the game again. Some Bridges stepping up to provide an option in attack alongside Caitlin Store and Izzy Fernandez. Rita Tolios in the mix as well. All potential targets for Sydney Allen, who also has Ash Lefebvre positioned for a short pass if she decides that's the better option. Allen sends it in. It's just in that really awkward area for the goalkeeper, who will be very grateful Zara Board that it bounced clear of any Bentley Greens attackers and comfortably into her mitts. Board takes the opportunity to get the ball just as far away from goal as possible. Still 90 seconds left in the first half, so still time for Bentley to get it back up to the other end of the pitch. Ellie Torre, though, forced into a defensive concession. Vicious attempt there from Curry, and it bounced off the back there of Ava Grover. Will that be the springboard for one final Greens move forward? Lefebvre, though, losing out to Grover. Still Grover. The superior size and strength, though, of Lefebvre pays dividends. Just says the chill, long and direct, set Sydney Allen a task. Lantieri Bartley well positioned. Allen for the Greens. Tries from a long way out, Sydney Allen. It's over a board, was scrambling. Grateful as the ball rolls comfortably wide of a post in the end. Albeit having been deflected on its way through. So one final chance for Bentley to reduce the deficit before the break. Sent in by Allen to the middle of the box. It meets the head as well of Valinda Stojcevski. Narrowly over the crossbar, and that will bring the first half to a close. Really entertaining first 45 minutes here at Cross Keys. It was the Royals who came flying out of the blocks. A couple of goals for Emma Langley in the space of about 60 seconds, giving them the early 2-0 advantage. Sydney Allen halved the deficit with a wonderful finish from a swift Bentley Greens counter-attack. 10 or 15 minutes later, it was Airi Fujiwara who scored a really lovely goal at an unlikely angle to restore the Royals' 2-goal advantage, which they've maintained up until the break, so plenty of work. Second half underway in this round 8 NPLW fixture. The Royals currently 3-1 ahead of the Bentley Greens. A double from Emma Langley as well as a lovely goal from Airi Fujiwara has the home team in a commanding position for Sydney Allen's goal for the Greens. Or compared to just Sydney Allen's sole goal for the Greens. Looks as if there have been a couple of changes made at the halftime break. We'll look to confirm that, but it looks as if for the Royals it's the end of the afternoon for Mia Lantieri-Bartley, and Alessia Bresciano has been brought into the game. The Greens, Coco Parker looks to have taken up a position on the pitch for this second half on the left wing. Trying to get confirmation of whose spot she's taken in the team for the second half. See Ava Grover looking to make an early impact in the second 45 down that right-hand side. Looks as if it's Izzy Fernandez who's made way for Parker. Chance for the 22-year-old to try and change the direction of this game at the moment. Coco Parker, who had a good showing last week, was given her shot in the starting lineup and proved to be difficult to contain for the Bentleigh defence. Murphy will collect the ball in the Bentley goal as the Greens look to get on the front foot for the first time in this second half. Of course, with the 2-goal deficit to overcome, they won't want to be spending maybe as much time in this half, just sitting back and absorbing pressure. This is Sydney Allen as Caitlin Storey is on the deck, having her body on the line to win back possession for her team. Allen wasn't able to maintain possession, and now there's perhaps a chance for the Royals to look forward. Fujiwara through towards Langley. Ellie Torre uses her experience to calmly deal with the situation. Parkinson's cross inside. There's a little bit too much power on it. Ava Grover will pick up the scraps, sends it back into the area. That time Strojewski there to thump it clear. Wilbert trying to pick away through the Greens defence. Jurcic sends it out for a Bentley throw. Fujiwara through towards Grover. Grover's cross inside. Langley is in a dangerous spot in the box. Cross though, too much height and width for the forward, who's on a hat-trick in the second half, as she has been for most of this game up to this point. It's one of those couple of goals in quick succession just after 10 minutes played. that time. Foul called. Won by Kobe Wilbert in the middle of the park. One of the other new recruits from the Royals, brought in from Calder. That crossfield ball once again. Grober is the outlet. He looks inboard for Langley. Too close to Murphy is the cross. For Bentley, looking for Torre, who sends it into the grandstand. A chance to turn for Curry. The return from Langley opens the door for Sydney Allen. Allen's pass is a good one for Leokopoulos, and Leokopoulos flashes past the post. It was a really well-worked move, led by Allen again. Leokopoulos finding herself in a unusually high part of the pitch, at least in open play, and it was a decent attempt as well, very much beating Zara Bort, but just beating the post as well. The attempted clearing ball only goes as far as Storey. Curry running in to Stojcevski. Over here, Rebecca Van Dort, who is a regular feature of the sound waves at an Essendon Royals game this season. Booming voice encouraging her team to maintain their intensity, and as reward for some of that, they've got themselves a free kick in a dangerous position. Fujiwara looking as if she's claimed ownership of the delivery. Haven't committed too many bodies into the box for this opportunity. The ball is a good one in any case. Greens do just enough to get the ball clear though. And now set both Allen and Tolios a task. Jurcic quick to slingshot it back forward. That one into the gloves of Murphy though. Verve goes direct. You see Bentley wasting no time once they've got the ball at their feet. Relieving the pressure on their defence and trying to get the ball into the most dangerous third of the pitch from their perspective. The one where they can pose the greatest threat. And Dort composed to Curry, who looks crossfield to Grober. Thought about using Smith. Instead, will use the overlapping run provided by Bresciano. And Leslie Bresciano wins her team a throw. Chance for Fujiwara, gets the shot on target. That one never likely to cause too much trouble though for Murphy. That chance coming though from the work down the right-hand side from Bresciano, who has forced her way into the senior team, named as part of the under-20s squad this season, but is impressed Vince Battiato enough to get some regular game time at NPLW level. Plenty of footballing pedigree with her family name, of course, as well. This is Lefebvre. Good strength trying to power away from Grober, and a little tug back by the winger prompts the referee's whistle. Metropolis to deliver. It's got plenty of power, and Tolios wasn't able to keep the attack alive. So a bit of a missed opportunity, but Bentley will feel as if the second half has been a little bit more comfortable for them, less of a matter of an incessant Royals attack, just pinning back their visitors, and a little bit more even in terms of the general play. Bresciano looks inboard to Grober, who leaves it for Fujiwara. Back out to Grober. Bridges intercepts and uses Storey. Verve's pass. Well cut out by Wilbert. Next goal, if it is to come, will be very important in determining the direction of this game. If Bentley can get it, the second half being a little bit more even and the Greens threatening a little bit more regularly, I feel like they could really build on that and start to make life very difficult for their hosts. As for the Royals, a fourth goal for them would surely kill off the Bentley resistance. Long ball meets the head of Bresciano. And the end result is a Royals throw. Fury had a couple of opponents to try find her way through and drew the foul as a result, sticking the leg up in hope for a teammate to come and help alleviate the cramp. Took a few seconds for one of the teammates to jog on over and help her out. Will present an opportunity for a more substantial pause in the games. The medical staff come out to ensure that the players' ailments aren't too severe. And the Royals will take the chance to do their team huddle and reassess after the opening 13 minutes of the second half. It's been less control for the Royals, but the game's still very much in a position where they'll feel comfortable. The game this afternoon between Boleyn and FE Academy will have kicked off now, so those two both hoping to make their own journeys up towards the upper half of the NPLW ladder. As things stand with this result, the Royals will move back ahead of Spring Hills and within a point of both Preston and Box Hill. I should say a point of Box Hill and two of Preston, Boleyn and Burundara, although those teams still to play this afternoon into the evening. Tells you how important a win for the Royals this afternoon could be. And just really a couple of wins behind Heidelberg and South Melbourne at that point. Hasn't been a flawless team early in the couple of months that we've had so far this season. Very much seems as if the status of top dog there for the taking. Just over an hour gone now at Cross Keys. The Royals have effectively slowed down the general tempo of this game. Very much left the onus with their visitors to try and up the ante and apply the pressure. Things looking fairly comfortable for the team in red just at the minute. This is Bridges for Bentley, hoping to change that. As Lefebvre sends it up and over the head of Allen. The return ball, hoping for Groper, is met by Ash Lefebvre again. Bentley Green's numbers went out in that battle. And now Bridges looks cross-field. It's a real challenge for Tolios to get there. Leokopoulos, too heavy a touch. With that, Essendon Royals will be able to make their second change of the afternoon. And Betty Michael will be given her run off the bench, taking the place of the youngster Sasha Khoury. So Betty Michael, player brought in from Bentleigh in the off-season. Wasn't quite able to break into that Bentleigh team, understandably so, with the quality that they have, particularly in forward areas. We'll now have half an hour to ply her trade for the Royals. Bentley as well will take their chance to make another couple of changes. Emily Keppins will come into the game alongside Daniela DiPetta. So some attacking moves, you can understand why. Dario Simonic is looking to reinforce the firepower of his team. So Caitlin Storey making her way to the substitutes bench as Bentley try to revitalise their team and find a way back into this game. Allen. Treats to Bridges. Now Kenny out to the left-hand side. Parker, the player, trying to hold up the ball. So Keppins and DiPetta take the place of Storey and Tolios, it seems. Tolios still there in the right fullback position. As well that it's Ellie Torre, the other player, who's been withdrawn by Dario Simonic. So Torre and Storey out. And the attacking reinforcements of DiPetta and Keppins into the game. This is Sydney Allen, hoping for Tolios, but well read by Parkinson. Ball through. Never likely for one of her teammates. Parkinson, whose attacking influence is somewhat reduced in this second half, has been the case for most of the Royals players. He did just challenge Bentley to come up with something to drag themselves back into this contest. And Dort sends it up towards Fujiwara. Unable to find the substitute Betty Michael though. Parker inboard to Leokopoulos. Now Tolios. Royals defence very well marshalled as they block the passing lanes and force Bentley back out to, this time, the left-hand side. The ball inboard. Comfortably met by Wilbert. And now Kobe Wilbert will lead the Royals counter-attack. Doesn't get far. Parker and Kenny back to Delaney Kenny. You get the sense that this is likely to be what most of the rest of the game will look like. Bentley with the ball and trying to pick their way through a well-organised Royals defence. It is the defensive foundations on which they achieved so much of their success last campaign. Albeit those foundations appearing a little bit shakier this season. This is Parker. Still making her charge forward. It's a really strong challenge made by Van Dort. Van Dort, the player who was most recently up in Canada, having spent most of her career playing for Eastern Suburbs in New Zealand, and now providing that real leadership down back for the Royals. They'll have another corner to defend here. Just beats the head of Stojcevski. Kopolis looking to keep the attack alive, uses Lefebvre. Looks in board. And now Grover for the Essendon Royals. Opportunity to perhaps kill off the contest if they can make one of these counters work. Getting back effectively though was Bridges. Is clearing challenge only as far as Kendra Smith. It's out wide to Bresciano. First time cross. Wasn't able to make the right kind of contact though. The sting of this game very much taken out so far in the second half. You'd say strategically so by the Essendon Royals. At the moment, it doesn't have the feel of a contest that will dramatically shift in favour of the Bentley Greens. We saw though how that goal in the first half for the visitors very quickly changed the dynamic of the contest. Another one of those, they are to give themselves a chance of rescuing at least a result from this afternoon. And ball sets Benny Michael a task. Fujiwara there to support. Back heel cut out by Lefebvre. And releasing the ball through, but leaving much too much for DePetta to do was Delaney Kenny. Parkinson wrestle. It's the Royals who won out initially. Bridges, though, storming out of the defence. Spreads it to Parker. Parker looking to skip around Bresciano. Arriving at the edge of the area is Kenny. Delaney Kenny. Bentley draw it back to a one-goal deficit again. And a superb finish from the edge of the area. Delaney Kenny. With that, this contest remains very much alive. Excellent work from the substitute Coco Parker to set up the chance. The finish from Kenny makes the score 3-2. It's the third goal of the campaign for the Bentley recruit. The player signed from college soccer, most recently playing in California. And with 20 minutes left in this one, Bentley will be energised by their second goal of the afternoon. With a quick reply, the Royals send the ball forward to Grover. That one will roll behind though for a goal kick. Again, those defensive frailties coming back to bite Essendon this season. The way they've controlled large portions of this game should have been enough, you'd say, to secure the 3 points. This contest, though, remains very finely poised. Bentley looking to send it forward again. Jurcic there to halt the attack. Parker uses her strength to protect the ball. Allen looks out towards DePetter. First touch wasn't quite able to take the ball under a spell. Now Langley for Essendon. Coughs it up to Tolios. Sent up as far as Parkinson, but Sydney Allen loses touch. Overlooking inboard, and Essendon will be happy to have themselves a throw in the Bentley half. Haven't been able to shake off their opponents so far this afternoon. Pass from Allen. Set it up possibly for Wilbert, but Bentley Greens will now charge forward through Parker, who just overran the ball. Sense the anticipation around the venue every time Bentley go forward now. Got that goal that they needed to build the excitement and the belief in the team, really. I feel like they deserve one of these seesawing contests to go their way, but Essendon Royals will now take the chance to make a couple of substitutions. It's 2 attackers withdrawn for Fujiwara and Grover. Fujiwara, of course, scoring the 3rd of the Royals' goals earlier on. Grover as well, playing a pivotal role in the attack for Essendon up to this point. And it looks as if it's Emily Harbus and Grace Paradis who've been brought on for the last 15 or so minutes of regulation time. That pass sets the path of Coco Parker. Danger for Alessia Bresciano. Teeing up really her opponent Coco Parker, who's made a real impact coming off the bench at half time. Very nearly drawing Bentley level. Here is Bresciano again, this time looks inboard towards Harbus. First touch from Harbus wasn't probably the best that we'll see this afternoon. Thirds crossfield ball, hoping for DePetter. Parkinson got there ahead of her. There is belief in this Bentley team. A real zip with the passing and the movements. That central ball, hoping for Leakopoulos. A desperate lunge to try win back possession, giving away a foul in the process. Still have both Georgia Candelas and Renee Sofronidis as options on the bench. Does Dario Simonic. certainly contribute to an attacking move or two. We still have one more opportunity to change the dynamic of this game just with the substitutions. This is a chance for Parkinson. Stachevsky racing across and happy to concede the throw. Dort gets it back up, only as far as Allen. Now Sydney Allen wrestling with Kendra Smith, who leans into her opponent. Once again, Allen hoping to jump onto it at the edge of the area. And Bentley have themselves a couple of throws in quick succession as they creep forward into the final third. And they've got themselves a corner. Last touch coming off Grace Paradis and Sydney Allen to send the ball in to potentially draw Bentley level. Been fighting from behind pretty much the whole afternoon, Bentley. Referee Angelique Gonzalez just making sure all is in order in terms of how the players are conducting themselves as the corner is sent in. Corner is delivered. It's not the contact that Allen was hoping for. Might get another crack at it though now. Sydney Allen this time with the right, sends it in. It's awkward to deal with. Zara Board is grateful that the ball was still easy for her to dive onto, having not quite claimed it cleanly the first time. Leokopoulos, though, continuing the surge for Bentley. Cross inside, Bora comes to claim that one. She dealt with a little bit better. And yells at her teammates to get higher up the field. Certainly been the most sustained period of discomfort that the Royals have had to contend with this afternoon. Ball as far as Allen, Tolios. Allen has space. And Tolios, though, wasn't able to get the head up and see the opportunity. There's nothing to come from the chance. The cross inside, Zara Board yet again does well to claim. Sends it to Emma Langley, the player who scored 2 in the first half and has been scarcely cited in the second 45, but does win a foul there. And an important moment too, just to relieve a little bit of the pressure on the Royals' defence. The experience of Rebecca Van Dort will mean that this play doesn't get underway any sooner than it has to. Langley lets it run. And Taylor Murphy will restart the Bentley Greens charge. Kenny turns away from Paradis. Lost her feet though, and Van Dort was there. Jurcic uses Bresciano. Back inside. Every touch for the Royals at the moment is under pressure. Wilbert sends it out towards Michael on that right-hand side. Winning the ball back again, though, Bentley. Lefebvre loses touch, and Wilbert now will perhaps create the opportunity for Bentley to get the ball into the area. They've got themselves a corner, the Royals. As you can see, there's not a great deal of urgency for about half the team to get into the box. Essendon not taking any unnecessary risks as they have the opportunity to get the fourth goal that, well, you'd say would surely kill off the game, but the way Bentley have kept fighting, you never quite know. That ball in, looking for Van Dort. Paradis sent it back out to the right-hand side. And Betty Michael happy to win the throw. Throw in for Langley. Wasn't able to keep the ball in play. The assistant's flag is raised. Betty Michael's cross was a good one, but if the ball dead, it counts for naught. So they've done well the last few minutes, Essendon, just to relieve some of the pressure. Spend some time in the Bentley half. The Greens now will look to restart their attacking moves. Ciano beat Parker that time, although it could still end up with the Greens winger. As Van Dort sends it out for a throw. Allen has a couple of players closing down the space. Langley, one of them. Comes away with the ball, looks towards Michael. Stoichevski's been reading the ball well all afternoon. Opportunity again. Another crucial touch from Stoichevski. Could still come the way of Harbis, who is unable to direct it on target. DePetta had a couple to beat. Did well and wins the foul. DePetta. Really important contribution as she wins her team the free kick, which Leakopoulos wastes no time sending up. Straight back into Leakopoulos' area, but Bridges is happy to retreat to a goalkeeper. Really has been a breathless contest throughout. And it's gone through a few different phases. As we edge towards its conclusion, the result is still far from certain. The Royals might be able to take a big step towards securing the win if they're able to take advantage of one of these dead ball situations. Once again, Benny Michael will send it into the penalty area. Van Dort and Smith, the obvious targets. Van Dort's the player who got nearest. Leakopoulos, though, able to hoof it away from the danger zone. Parker again. It's been so lively off the bench. Very well met, though, by Wilbert, though. Paradis sends it towards Michael. Michael and Lefebvre. Experienced defender got her body in the way to block the ball into the area. Jarvis met by Stojcevski. Jurcic to Bridges. Now Kenny, the scorer of Bentley's second. Giano did well to play it off Parker. Well, as we've seen, clinging on to their narrow advantage with just a handful of minutes left in the 90. A tough few weeks coming up. On the road next time out when they head to take on FV Academy at the home of the Matildas, but then end the month with a couple of big games against South Melbourne and Heidelberg United. South Melbourne game here at Cross Keys before heading to the Village to take on the reigning champions. In that context, the need to pick up the points and close the gap with the teams in the leading pack becomes all the more apparent. Need to see out these kinds of tight scenarios. Cleverly done by Stojcevski. Pass though leaves a little bit to be desired. Bentley have a couple of weeks at home coming up after today's game, welcoming both Burundara and Alamein in games that will be anything but straightforward. But at home, Bentley, they'll have a degree of belief, particularly if they were able to snatch a point from this afternoon's contest. They had their hearts broken late last week against Berlin. They'd love to be able to be on the other side of that scenario today in these final minutes. Chance here for Kenny. There's a couple to beat, and Emma Langley will lead a Royals charge forward. The work, though, from Stojcevski allows Bridges to get there first and make the defensive clearance. Seconds of regulation time remaining. The Royals have done a really good job at resisting the Bentley pressure. That cross flashes past the goal. Just to reverse the direction that the game was heading for quite a while in the second half, with Bentley just building more and more pressure. The Royals have been able to get out of their own defensive third more often than not in the last 10 minutes, and that's made things a little bit more comfortable. Parkinson's cross into the box. Leakopoulos to clear. Doesn't quite make the contact she was after, though, and it could well fall into the path of Michael, but Lefebvre used her experience and guile to win out. Once again, Parker makes her charge down the left-hand side. Bresciano getting back. Allen misses the header. And now Smith, hoping to send Betty Michael through one-on-one. Parkinson again proving too strong for DePetta. Michael. Ball cut out, and now Leakopoulos. Oh, we know the outlook that Bentley looked towards. It's Coco Parker again. This is where the second goal came from. But it's really strong defending from Bresciano, even if the pass ends up at the feet of Lefebvre. 4 minutes of second half stoppage time to come. 4 minutes for Bentley to complete the comeback and rescue a point from Cross Keys. Cross inside. Kenny back into the area. Jurcic just wants it as far away as possible. This is Allen. He conjures some magic. Goes with the right. Too close though. To Zara Board. And both Zara Board and Vince Battiato telling all the outfield players for the Royals to get as high up the pitch as possible. That's where the ball's telegraphed and indeed sent. Ball back up towards Keppins. Emily Keppins very nearly falling into her path. Zara Board collapses gratefully onto the ball. And just a few more of those scenarios to survive for the Royals. Looking in Bordley, Akopoulos picks it up, goes herself. Saw Zara Board a little bit off her line. And hoping for something quite special, but scuffed the shot somewhat. And Zara Board, only 20 years of age, but any goalkeeper knows how to take full use of these kinds of situations in terms of sucking seconds off the clock. Eventually gets play back underway with the long kick. Be quite happy with the ball out of play, even if it means turning over possession. Allen's cross inside. DePetta gets ahead to it. One of the smallest players on the park, rising above the rest, forcing Zara Board into a save. But the goalkeeper was always favoured to deal with the chance. Once again sending it high and long. The ball's edge closer to a win that they've been waiting quite a while for. Just the one in their last 6 games in NPLW football. And maybe now they've done enough. Doing everything they can to just keep the ball, keep it in this part of the pitch, the Royals. Parkinson heads towards the corner flag. DePetta charging back to win back possession for the Greens. And the call is a Bentley goal kick. So maybe one more chance for the visitors to send it forward. They've got to go now. Bridges sends it far and long. Allen on the rebound.
Go down!
Kenny back to Allen. A throw over the head of the Bentley captain. Kenny goes cross field. 3 players in the vicinity. Jurcic won the header. The referee puts the whistle to her mouth. And with that ball overhit, that will be full time. The Royals get it done. It was anything but straightforward. After Emma Langley's couple of early goals set them on course for a fairly leisurely stroll this afternoon. Bentley fought back hard. First Sydney Allen making it 2-1. Fujiwara made it 3 for the Royals. It looked as if they'd done enough with that first half performance. Bentley came back hard again in the second 45. A wonderful finish from Delaney Kenny, making things nervous for the hosts for the remainder of the game. But in the end, Essendon Royals do enough to secure a big 3 points in this afternoon's contest. They'll move their way up the NPLW ladder and keep themselves very much in touch with those finals positions, where they will hope to find themselves at the end of the campaign. For Bentley Green, still plenty of reasons for optimism once again, though they've fallen just short when it comes to the final result. But that's all the time we have from Cross Keys Reserve this afternoon. Full-time score, Essendon Royals 3, Bentley Greens 2.